How's it going, ladies and Bruce's up? I'll be Sixkilla and welcome back to the Zodiac Trial. We've been searching the school for trinkets and been pretty successful so far, and nobody's betrayed anyone so far either, so things are going spectacularly well. Too well, really. So we just did a vote. We're going to see if that continues. Let's find out. Pretty much everyone else had already gathered when I arrived. Mouse, there you are. Hey, you won't believe this good news. 2 more minor trinkets have been found. In no small part thanks to yours truly. You're welcome. We actually found a major trinket, but it'll work like a minor trinket. Yes, that's all very well and good. Now, could you all be quiet? They're about to show the race results. Why does it matter? Isn't it obvious what they'll show? Better to keep a close eye on them regardless. Before that discussion could continue, the speakers cut on.
Round 3 is ended. Now let us see how the race has progressed.
Yep. Good. Lovely. Tasty. Delicious. Fantastic. Wonderful. Awesome. Well, there you go.
Before round 4 begins, I have an announcement to make.
What?
There is an additional rule I have yet to inform you all of. A quirk of the race, if you will, that you may be interested in. No doubt those of you who have checked the information tab will have noticed that each have a personality assigned. From the rat to the pig, each of your personalities are unique to you. Most of you probably dismissed that, and for most of you, that was the right choice. However, for 2 of you, this personality is an incredibly important variable. First up, I'd like to talk about the victorious personality. The victorious personality wants to finish the race in first place, just like everyone else. However, this personality type isn't content in a big old shared victory. For this personality to be satisfied, no more than 3 animals can tie for first. If this condition isn't satisfied, the animal with this personality will be treated as if they have lost. They will be punished accordingly.
Wait, but that means... Are you kidding? That's crazy. That means we can't all survive. No.
The other personality to take note of is the defeated personality.
Victorious has got to be tiger and defeated has to be pig, right?
Unlike the other personalities, this personality doesn't actually wish to win the race. The animal with the personality wants to be in last place when the race finishes. If that happens, all animals except those possessing the defeated personality and those possessing the victorious personality will be executed. However, this caveat is not applicable if the first place is a tie between 9 or more animals.
What a farce. Does this guy think he's fucking with us?
I apologize for not making these rules clearer from the start. I fear you may think that this would have been good information to have from the start. And you know what? You're absolutely right. Therefore, to make up for keeping this from you until now, this round will be extended by 15 minutes. Use that time to regroup. And as always, choose wisely.
This couldn't be happening, right? There was no way. That... bastard. There was no way that this was unintentional. He let us foster a false sense of peace, and then, when we were sure about our safety, he introduced this bullshit rule which forced our hands. Now no matter what, at least 2 people would have to die. This couldn't be right. I thought he said that if we did everything right, everyone could escape. It was our fault for believing that psycho for 1 minute. Is he serious? Probably. Then people are going to have to die, aren't they? Everybody, calm down. We can't descend into madness just like this. First off, the people with the victorious and defeated personality types should just admit it now. It'd be best for everyone. You moron, you seriously think they'd out themselves like that? They're not that stupid. It's not stupid, it's noble. Think about it, people. Either 11 people could die, or 2 could. Which sounds better to you? If you confess now, we'll make sure you are honoured after your death. That's seriously your offer? Doesn't sound worth it to me. Criticising the offer? What, are you one of them? Nah, no way. Trust me, if I had one of those personalities, I'd admit it. Why would I hide something like that? Because you want to survive. Yeah, see, I'm not hearing a good reason. Everyone quiet. If your personality is victorious or defeated, please speak up right now. Obviously no one is going to blame you. We just want to come to an agreement. However, if you don't speak up, we'll have no choice but to treat you as the enemy. So please think carefully about how you want to proceed. With those words, a plague of silence came over the room. No one dared cough. It was as if you could breathe in the tension. I was hoping that maybe things could be resolved easily. However, it didn't seem as if we would be that so lucky. Eventually, Monkey chimed in. Everyone actually remembers their personalities, right? It wouldn't be too odd for someone to forget such a seemingly useless detail. It's possible that the defeated and victorious personalities don't even know it themselves. Actually, I'm not super sure about what mine is. I mean, I think I remember correctly, but I'm not certain, you know? Maybe I should go check. Like hell you don't remember. Didn't happen that long ago. But Dragon, what's the harm of letting people go check? Better safe than sorry, right? I think letting anyone retreat at this stage would be unwise. There's nowhere to go, we're locked in a school. The flaws are twofold. First, it allows time for those with secrets to hide, to compose themselves. At the moment, they're likely still flustered and more likely to slip up. Additionally, letting them walk away and think by themselves will give them time for justification. The subconscious mind is awfully effective at convincing the conscious mind of what it wants using sweet-sounding arguments. There's a saying that the best way to make a man murder someone is to give them a good reason, and then give them time with nothing to do but think by themselves. Sounds like a bit of a reach, Snake. No, Snake's right. No one needs to check their tablet because no one needs to know their personality. It doesn't matter if you've been affected by this motive or not, your actions needn't change. I'm sorry if this sounds callous or dismissive, but the simple fact of the matter is that we must prioritize saving the most lives possible. If we must let Brian murder 2 of us to secure the safety of the rest of us, then that's a trade we must make. This isn't self-preservation speaking. I swear I'd make that promise whether I was affected by that announcement or not. So then what's the plan, Chief? The plan hasn't changed at all. We're going to find all the minor trinkets, and we're going to reach the finish line at the same time. Hold on, isn't it a super duper bad idea not to change anything now that we know about the personality types? Now there's a really good reason for someone to betray us. And how exactly do you propose they'd go about doing something like that? We've heard everyone's abilities. There's no quicker way of moving than all of us using the minor trinkets. Except for Dog. Dog could win in one turn. If the victorious type tries to get ahead of the others before we begin using them, we'll immediately know their intentions. From there, the group can just work against the common enemy and stop them. Once we get all the minor trinkets, we can make it to the finish line in a matter of 2 rounds. Even if the defeated type doesn't activate their trinket, more than 9 will receive a joint victory, so their immunity will be forfeit. I suspect that is why the 9-person caveat was added in the first place. Brian must have deemed it too easy for the defeated type to win had the rule not been in place. So ultimately, if we just proceed with the strategy, the 10 of us with normal personalities will be fine. Great, so there really is no need to fear at all. Thank God. You're all being awfully naive. What? Do you seriously think that those burdened with this rule would simply roll over and die? If they were willing to do that, they would have spoken up when we asked them to. Those with the will to survive will find some way to do so. To think they wouldn't is to underestimate the desire to live. Horse's words hung heavy. Of course he was right. If they hadn't outed themselves already, then the people facing harsher rules wouldn't be content with things operating smoothly. The air would now be plagued with a brutal sense of distrust. How could we when traitors lurked in our midst? But when we had no other choice than proceeding with the plan, even if we knew something was likely to go wrong. So what, are we just going to look for trinkets like nothing's wrong? I suppose. I see you're just cool with us wandering around by ourselves in a creepy school when there are people who want us dead. I see, that's cool. Good leadership there. You have a problem with me? The girl's scared, and who can blame her? You're the shitty commander not thinking about the safety of your grunts. Okay, well, do you have a suggestion? We'll move around in groups of 3. Tiger, Horse, Bunny, and myself will each be in one group, so all of them have someone who looks halfway decent at fighting. Sound good so far? Why'd you not include me on the list of fighters? I'd give my opponents the people's elbow. Get them screaming for their mummies, but their mummies wouldn't be there because I'd have fucked them already so hard that their mummies wouldn't be able to walk. Well, I would kill to test that theory by beating the shit out of you. We don't got that kind of time, so I'm just going to move on. Any real objections? No. Great. In that case, each of us should choose someone they're most suspicious of to keep an eye on. As for me, I choose Ox. Seriously? We just brought up how the traitors would try shit, and then you propose we let everyone walk off on their own. That's a traitor move if ever I saw one. I will look over sheep. You suspect me? Not what I said. Gee. I don't think I suspect any of you. I guess if I have to pick, I'll keep an eye on Dog. What, you think I'm lying to you all right now? Dog is pretty dodgy. You might be. I guess you're right. I want to keep an eye on Snake. That's a good plan too. That guy creeps me out. I don't trust his shifty eyes. How rude. Alright, Dragon. You split us into 4 pairs. What now? For the 4 people not in a group yet, just pick someone. I don't really give a shit. What an elegant solution. Who gives a shit about elegance at a time like this? I got along swimmingly with Tiger earlier, and Snake seems to be a nice fellow. Those two shall make fitting partners. Well, great to have you on board. It'll be wisest to pick the group without the traitor in it, yes? With that in mind, I believe the safest choice would be with horse and sheep. Oh, thank you. Do not worry, it's not a compliment. I realized that if I kept on doing nothing, I'd be left in a group without a say. There was only 2 left, so I had to pick now. Well, Ox and Dragon seemed like the best group, but Bunny and Dog contains the most dodgiest people. Do I want to keep an eye on the dodgy ones, or do I want to hang out with the ones I actually prefer? Let's hang out the ones that I prefer. I'll go with Ox and Dragon. It's good to be able to work with you. There are worse picks for a third. I guess that leaves me with Bunny and Dog. Oh no, I should have picked something sooner. You're not happy with being with us? I'm offended. To speed things up, since time is now more of the essence, I say we should only reconvene at the cafeteria once every 2 rounds. Sound good? Sure thing, no one gave a shit about that rule in the first place. I don't... Ox, drop it, it's not worth arguing. Fine. So, is this fine with everybody? The situation works, right? All good? Let's do this. Let's get to searching. We could totally do this. Now that's the spirit. Let's kick Brian's ass for thinking we can be fucked with. Yeah, whatever. Let's get to searching. We don't have time for this shit. And just like that, our 4 groups of 3 split up. So where do you want to look? Does it really matter? Not really, we have to make some sort of decision. Oh no shit, Sherlock, I'm just saying we don't need to waste time with a big discussion about this. Let's just start looking around. Fine. There were some classrooms on the first floor I haven't had a chance to search through. Let's start there. Alright, so that's where we'll go. Great teamwork, gang. Is that what that was? Didn't we just talk about not wasting time? Right, let's get started. And get started we did. We began walking around the first floor, searching classrooms for as a group. When the 3 of us worked together, we were able to cover a lot more space than we otherwise would have been able to do. Working with Dragon and Ox made scrounging around classrooms a cinch. However, there was one problem. We weren't actually finding any minor trinkets. It couldn't be helped, the school was unusually large, so we were bound to run across a number of whiffs. Still, I couldn't help but be annoyed that we were seemingly wasting time. I had to tell myself that that wasn't the right way of thinking about it. It wasn't wasting time, it was eliminating possibilities. True. Dragon didn't seem to share my optimistic spirit. Oh, for the love of fuck. We've been searching for a while and yet we found jack shit. Calm down, would you? I don't see what shouting about it is going to do for the problem. It's going to stop me from hitting things. Then shout away. Actually, better idea. Let's take a momentary break from the search. What? Ox, you can't be giving up already. Where's your spirit? I'm not giving up on anything. I'm saying we should stop, split up, and enter our actions for this round. Yes, there's still a fair amount of time left, but it wouldn't hurt to get that out of the way sooner rather than later. At this rate, it's highly unlikely we'll be able to use the minor trinkets, so I don't see any harm in just pressing run now. Fine by me. No reason not to just input the actions now instead of waiting till the end. Good thinking, Ox. I'll stay in this room. You two can use the neighbouring classrooms. Why do I have to move? Seriously, does every decision have to be a thing with you? I'm just... forget it. I'll move into the next classroom, okay? Hey, don't misunderstand me. I'm fine moving. I just wasn't cool with you bossing me around like that. Who cares? Hey, didn't we talk about not wasting time on pointless conversations earlier? Which rooms we use for half a minute it will take to operate our tablet seems to fall under the pointless conversation umbrella. Whatever. Without another word, Dragon stormed out of the room, and with a sigh, Ox followed her. Okay, so there was room for improvement on the whole teamwork front. We could work on that. Anyway, since those 2 were gone, I could use this opportunity to choose an action on the tablet. It wasn't something I had to think much about. I just pressed the run button, and that was it. Then I waited for the 2 to return. It didn't take long for Dragon to return. However, Ox took a bit to come back, and when he did, he looked perturbed. Ox, what's wrong? I might die soon. What? Yeah, I think most of us are kind of in that situation right now. It's tense for all of us. I obviously don't mean just because of the general death game. Look, when I went into the other room and turned on my tablet, a message popped up on it. A message? It said, "You've been poisoned. Your veins are now infected with Kavka's toxin. This deadly venom will kill you at the end of the next round. Your only chance for survival is to drink the antidote." What is the antidote, you may ask? Blood from the dead body of the one who poisoned you. A cold shiver went over my body as Ox spoke. That can't be. Are you serious? Whoa, fucking metal. Metal? That's your first reaction? I just call it how I see it. I still like her. I shudder to think of the machinations of your mind. Well, fuck you too. Dragon, Ox has just been poisoned. This isn't the time for this. You know, you're right. I'm sorry. I already promised I wasn't going to have any pointless deaths on my watch, so I guess I gotta help figure out what's going on. Thank you. Anyway, what's the deal with that message? It's talking about venom, right? Do you think this has something to do with Snake? Did that prick refuse to tell us what his ability was? Maybe this is it. I doubt it. It isn't entirely different to all the other abilities. An effect on this scale seems more to the tune of a major trinket, wouldn't you say? Yeah, that sounds right. The Jade Emperor said that each animal was represented in a minor and major trinket. This must be the work of the snake's major trinket. Additionally, it's a fair assumption that the person who used it is either the person with the victorious personality or the one with the defeated personality. After all, they'd benefit from deaths. On the other hand, the fact that you two apparently didn't receive this notification means that the trinket has limits. The culprit would likely have poisoned everyone given the chance. Perhaps the trinket can only poison one person at a time, or maybe it's a one-time use. But when could someone have even gotten their hands on a major trinket? I made a search in groups to stop something like this from happening. Someone could have found it before the end of the third round. They decided to keep it hidden for some unclear reason. Wow, Ox. Even though you're in a horrifying position, you're still remaining composed. We're on the verge of death the moment we got here. This merely speeds up the timetable. Hell of a way to view things. Don't think most would see it the way you do. While from a distance it might not seem it, but being a prosecutor is actually one of the most stress-inducing jobs there is. Every day I'm involved in one way or another with numerous cases that will define other people's whole lives. One slip-up and I let justice falter. One overexertion and an innocent man might be put to death. One careless statement and the people working for me will snatch my position. I don't take my work lightly. I've spent the last 4 years in a state of non-stop tension. At this point I'm numb to it. Wow, that's... sad? Yeah, I think sad's the word for it. I would have preferred impressive, but whatever. Still, I envy you. Not many are in a position where they can hold their own death so lightly. Do not get me mistaken. In no way do I hold my life in low gravitas. I do not intend on passing without a fight. I will find who has poisoned me, and I will not show them mercy.
Oh, how dramatic. I'm loving your energy, Ox.
The speakers in the room had suddenly kicked to life, and the Jade Emperor's voice played with its familiar distortion. Brian, why are you chiming in now? Simply to mock me?
Pretty much. I've got to say, I'm so glad you get to squirm. Don't get me wrong, Mouse and Dragon, all of you deserve to be here. But you, Ox, you really need a kick in the teeth. I was looking forward to seeing how hamster fodder like you would hold up in this place. And now, it looks like your death will be caused by a tool of corruption, the one who carried out a malicious cover-up and killed my dad. How's that for irony?
Irony?
Anyways, I should leave you to your little mysteries. Figure out who poisoned you, or don't, and die. I'm hoping for the latter. Ciao. And
like that, he was gone. God, what a smarmy prick. That kid needs a kick in the groin. A kick skawaya in the balls. He needs a lot more than that. But where was... what was that about a tool of corruption? A cover-up? He was just trying to get in your head. I don't think so. Why bluff about something like that? But no, he can't be right. Morris was guilty, no matter what angle you looked at it. Evidence, testimony, motive, common sense, they all align perfectly. There's no way that could be faked. I didn't... Oh, snap out of it. This is why he'd bluff about something like this. He knew it would get in your head. Well, if there truly was some sort of cover-up involved, and the person behind that cover-up poisoned me, this could be a clue. I'm with Mouse on this one. The person behind the cover-up sounds like Bunny. Cop. Or dog, ex-cop. No, but he wasn't a cop at the time though, so it had to be Bunny. I'm with Mouse on this one. Don't get overly worked up about this. I'm not getting overly worked up. Okay, fine. I'm sorry you two, but for the sake of my life, I'm gonna have to ask that I abandon the search for minor trinkets. The poison won't kick in until the end of the next round. That leaves me with plenty of time to investigate on my own. I trust that you understand. Of course, do what you need to. Try and figure out who did it. Yeah man, go for it. I doubt you're the type to be too dangerous. When left to his own devices anyway, there's no problem with you going on your own. I take offense to that. I could be in quite a lot of trouble on my own if I choose to be. Oh, so you want us to tail you? No, that won't be necessary. That's what I figured. Well then, I shall be off. With that, Ox excused himself to go and begin his quest for self-preservation. With that, Dragon and I were left in an empty classroom. What a shit situation for him. Yeah, I don't see this ending well. True. Well, better him than me, I suppose. That's not a nice way of looking at it, but sure. Let's get back to looking for the minor trinkets. Is that the right move? What are you talking about? I mean, we want to make sure that most people live through this, right? It seems to me like this poisoner is a big deal, don't you think? Shouldn't we try and find out who it is ourselves? Ox said he had it. He can say that, but who knows if he actually does. Sure, if he had enough time, he'd probably be able to figure it out. But he's on a real time crunch. Our help might be able to provide some insight he won't be able to in time. This seems like a pain, but I guess it beats searching through empty classrooms, huh? Alright, why the hell not? Let's play detective. I was always good at sniffing out the rats in my crew. It shouldn't be too different. Sniffing out rats? You know, snitches, cowards, the like. Can't have them around, you know? Makes us look weak. Maintaining control is all about having every link of the chain be strong. If I might ask, how did you figure out who the rats were? Oh, I didn't do anything special. Bit of intimidation, bit of violence. Really, whatever worked. Yeah, I think we might need a different strategy here. Really? We might get pushback from the group if we get that, extreme. Fine, whatever. You can lead our investigation, you're a lawyer or whatever. Law student. Same diff, you're smart, so you can be the lead. I'll just be your backup. You know, I like the sound of that. Mouse and Dragon, the dynamic duo. Partnerships and seeking justice. And that's enough of that. Okay. Sorry, how do we start this investigation? Where to investigate first? Bunny. Bunny. Let's go and try and talk to Bunny. Bunny, huh? I guess that wouldn't be such a bad idea. But are we sure he's actually going to give us useful information? Even if he does know something, I bet he'll be evasive about it. Well, that's where you come in, right? If I think he's being shady, you just have to come in and apply some good old-fashioned pressure. I bet if you get up in his face, he'll fold in an instant. I'm not sure things will go that smoothly. What the hell? Not like we got a better plan. That's the spirit. Is it? We make a great team. And so we began to look for where Bunny was searching. Eventually we stumbled across him on the 3rd floor. He was investigating student commons. He and Pig were looking around together, while Dog searched at the other side of the room. We approached Bunny and Pig. Hey, Bunny. Pig. Mouse. Noticing us, Bunny walked over and stood right next to Pig. Oh, hi guys, what brings you around here? Yeah, why are you here? Can't we just be checking in to see how you're doing? Of course you can, we'd love that. But Ox isn't with you, and you're not looking for trinkets. Isn't that, super weird? You got us, Pig. We're actually here to talk to you about something pretty important. You see, someone used a really scary trinket on Ox. He's gonna die unless we can figure out who used it. You don't say. Really? Well, gosh, that just sounds horrible. Who would want to do something that evil? Yeah, who? Whoever did something like that should be ashamed of themselves. I wonder if I'm giving away my opinion on police officers that the first person I suspected was a police officer. How evil, how villainous. I just wanted to ask you if you two knew anything about this. Know something? Us? Sorry to say, but we've been focusing on finding minor trinkets. We don't know anything about what you're talking about. What Bunny said. We know nothing about any trinkets or poison or anything. So you don't really need to bother us about this. Oh well. Wait. Did we say the word poison? What do you know about corruption in the Morris case? Corruption in the Morris case? It didn't exist. Really? You're telling me everything was by the books? As far as I'm concerned, yeah. Look, I was the cop who arrested that killer, Morris, and I made the accusation based on a solid trail of reliable evidence. After the arrest, other members of the force found more evidence and involved witnesses came forwards. We ended up making a rock-solid case against him. For some reason, Morris wanted to take it to trial, and when he did, he lost. It was all incredibly standard. So you don't know anything funky about it? Well, it was a high-profile case, but I don't think that really affected anything. And you pick? Corruption? What of it? Well, I guess I did notice that there was something of a media bias against Mr. Morris. The conversation on the internet almost seemed, I don't want to say forced, but forced maybe? Oh, but of course I had nothing to do with that. All my pieces were written honestly and fairly, based on the information I had. Of course. Okay, well, if that's all you guys can think of, then I guess that's that. Good luck searching for trinkets. And good luck with this whole ox problem. I hope you guys are able to work it out. We'll just keep searching for trinkets when this is over, right? When this is over, right, Pig? Yeah, what Bunny said. Mouse, are we really leaving like this? We've asked all we can. We shouldn't waste any more time. With that, Dragon and I went back to the classroom. That could have gone better. I knew we weren't getting anything useful. Those two know nothing about anything. What a waste of time. I still think the Pig was acting kind of weird. But maybe that's just how she acts sometimes. I think you're overthinking things. It's best for us to just keep looking. Dragon sighed. She took out a silver lighter with the red dragon emblem on it and began spinning it around in her fingers. Hang on, there's a history thing. I just want to go back. Because I don't know whether we actually said poison, right? Yeah, look, right here. We said someone's used a really scary trinket on Ox. He's going to die unless we can figure out who used it. That's it. And Pig said, we know nothing about any trinkets or poison or anything. We didn't say poison. Where did she get poison from? So it's Pig. She took out a silver lighter with a red dragon emblem on it and began spinning around in her fingers. God, if ever there was a time for a smoke, it'd be now. Wish I had some cigarettes on me. You know those are horrible for your health, right? Oh, really? I think you're the first person to tell me that. Sorry. There are already enough occupational hazards to my health. I don't think the risks of smoking really tip the scale too much. She lit the lighter and stared at the flame for a bit. It's a neat lighter. It was my boyfriend's. You have a boyfriend? I had one. Oh. Did you break up with him? Dragon unlit the lighter and put it in her pocket. He's not with us anymore. Oh. Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It's fine. I'm over it. Hey, you know, I still get these thoughts. If I hadn't let one of those damn scorpions get so uppity. Scorpions? You know, Mouse, all of life is a struggle over control. Who has what amount of it? If you're not controlling other people, you're being controlled. And if you don't actively try and gain control, it's your fault when you're powerless later in life. Life's a fight that never stops. Let up in a fight for a second and your opponent can gain ground. In that spirit, the more time we stand here talking about Jack all, the more time the poisoner gets to make their next move. Come on, let's get back to investigating. Sure thing. Who to investigate next? We can't investigate. I mean, Pig outed herself, right? She fucking outed herself. But, let's go with Snake. Let's go with Snake. I don't really know what Snake's deal is. Let's go and try and find Snake. I mean, Ox is poison, right? Then it might have something to do with Snake. Makes sense. And I always thought that dude was shady. Yeah, man. When we woke up in the same room, he didn't panic. Like at all. He could totally sentence another person to death without batting an eye. I don't know about that, but regardless, we should go find him. And just like that, we had our interrogation target. It didn't take long to find Snake. He was in a classroom on the second floor. He was in the same room as Rooster. Snake, would you mind if we talked to you for a minute? Ah, Mouse. What a nice surprise for you to join me in Miss McNamara's classroom. You may absolutely talk with me, but whatever about? Hold on a minute, where the hell's Tiger? Her? I believe she's examining one of the neighbouring rooms. You mean you're not all together during the search? We had a system, arseholes. You guys have to follow it. Please, no need to get dramatic. I'm making sure that no one in our group goes too far from the others. However, allowing a bit of spread improves our searching prowess by quite a bit. And also, we're breaking the rules, so I guess we can't blame them. Well, I don't like it. Then you have my apologies. Now, you have someone asked me? Right, yes. Ox has been poisoned. That is not literally, but in the game. Someone has used some sort of trinket on him, and if he doesn't figure out who did, in time, he'll die. You know anything about this? Ah yes, Ox's predicament. Funny, he's actually already approached me about this. I suppose, since it's poison, I'm to be suspected. Ox truly has become a modern-day Damocles, hasn't he? Damocles? Who's that? Damocles was a man who wished to sit on Dionysius' throne. Dionysius granted that wish. However, due to the rather bizarre leap of logic, Dionysius had previously set up his throne so that a giant sword hung directly above it, held up by a single horsehair. It was to represent the weight and danger of being king, supposedly. After a short period, Damocles begged Dionysius to let him off the throne, having learned the burden of being leader. However, the sword of Damocles more generally refers to an inevitable seeming impending doom. It metaphorically functions much in the way that a pendulum does in Poe's The Pit and the Pendulum. Okay, I get it. Ask for an explanation, not a damn English lecture. I was simply providing you with an appropriate amount of context. I feel knowing the full story may let you further appreciate just how apt my comparison was. I don't give a shit about how apt the comparison is. I care what you know about Ox being poisoned. Now start giving me useful info before I start breaking things. Ah, well, then I'm afraid you have to start breaking things. Unfortunately, I know nothing about this poisoned ability you speak of. I don't know what I can do to help. I don't believe you. Well, then I don't know what to tell you. Snake, are you sure? There's nothing you know about it. You haven't heard of Kefka's toxin anywhere? Kefka's toxin, you say? Ah, yes, that's apparently what flows through Ox's veins, according to the announcement of his tablet. Why, do you recognize it? I recognize the phrase. It's a very interesting name for Brian to have given the ability. Why? It references a very famous question proposed by philosopher Gregory S. Kafka in 1983. Oh great, is this another diatribe? He proposed the following puzzle. An eccentric billionaire places before you a vial of toxin that, if you drink it, will make you painfully ill for a day. But it will not threaten your life or have any lasting effects. The billionaire will pay you $1 million tomorrow morning if, at midnight tonight, you intend to drink the toxin tomorrow afternoon. To be clear, you need not drink the toxin to receive the money. In fact, the money will already be in your bank account hours before the time for drinking it arrives, if you succeed. All you have to do is intend at midnight tonight to drink the stuff tomorrow afternoon. Naturally, you would prefer not to drink the toxin. However, if it's for $1 million, you're willing to deal with the pain for a day. Quite the interesting puzzle, is it not? Puzzle? Where's the puzzle? So, you know what to do in this situation? Ain't it obvious? Just convince the dude you're going to drink the poison, then once you get the money, don't. Ah, but this billionaire is incredibly perceptive, and will know whether or not you truly intend to drink the toxin. No one can say that with guaranteed certainty. This man can. As simple as it might seem, some people actually argue it is impossible to get the money, even if you would drink the toxin for it. What? Kafka claims that since drinking the poison is never to your advantage, regardless of whether you're paid, no rational person could truly intend to drink the toxin once the money was received. Thus, your only options are to drink the poison without payment, or refuse to drink the poison without payment. That's bullshit. Many would agree with you. In contrast, philosopher David Gauthier argues once a person intends on drinking the poison, one cannot entertain ideas of not drinking it. To him, there are three options: drink the poison with payment, drink the poison without payment, or refuse to drink the poison without payment. Still, others have argued against this. Even if you fully intend to drink the poison, there's no way that resolve wouldn't collapse once the poison had been drunk. Wow. This is pretty interesting stuff, but does this mean you don't actually have any useful information for us? Oh no, we've clearly got useful information out of this. We now know that Snake is trying to waste as much of our time as possible by going off on about some random bullshit. It wounds me that you dismiss all I say as random bullshit. There is no way that the poison was called Kafka's toxin without a reason. It's a phrase simply too charged with meaning. I'm confident that in some way, understanding the name's origin should provide you with some sort of clue. Whatever you say. Come on, Mouse, we're done here. Dragon just done with Snake in general. Left the room without another word. Thanks for trying to help. Don't mention it. With that, I followed her back to the classroom we started in. Well, that was a complete waste of time. I don't know, that information could be useful. You really think so? I slightly doubted it. Dragon sighed. She drummed her fingers on the nearby cabinet. What's that time looking like? Oh, it's definitely the 5th round already. But there's still a bit of time before this round ends. We have a bit more time to investigate. And after that, we're going to have to come to a choice. You mean about killing someone? You know, if we're wrong, we're going to be committing murder for no reason. The person who poisoned Ox has to be one of the traitorous personalities, right? If we do nothing, we're letting that person get one more step towards their objective. We aren't going to be able to get through this without any violence. We just need to make sure that the violence is directed towards the right targets, so there can be as little of it as possible. Damn, that's cold-blooded. I didn't think you had it in you. How's wanting the fewest members of death to occur cold-blooded? Maybe cold-blooded ain't the right word for it. It's pragmatic. Yeah, calculating. Cold. It's definitely cold. It's a very realist take on the situation. I was just worried you were going to be one of those hippie, we need to get everyone out alive types. I mean, I would like it if everyone could get out alive. Yeah, well, that ain't happening. Not with things like this. I guess you're right. You said we have more time to investigate? And with that, we're going to wrap this one up here, because I don't have time to investigate. We're out of time for this episode. But in the next one, we'll continue our investigation. I still feel like Pig's the one. I'm going to write that down. Pig. Guilty. Specifically because she said poison, even though we never said the word poison. I'm going to go over that video to make sure that's true, but we did go over it. It's true. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.